got some major breaking news here, but first, just to set
Major
the stage,
breaking
earlier today, Donald
news.
Trump nominated Matt Gaetz to be Attorney General, which led to this announcement from Mike Johnson.
Matt and I were classmates. We came to Congress at the same time in the 100.
Wow. It is truly true. Let me use the word true 2 times. It is truly true that when you are loyal to Donald Trump definitely is going to reward you. Matt Gaetz has been alleged to have slept or to have paid a minor for sex. Matt Gaetz is under investigation, not criminal investigation, but ethics investigation in the House. And Donald Trump has not even waited. He hasn't even waited for that investigation to be over. And he has just rewarded Matt Gaetz for his loyalty. It is true that with Donald Trump, all he needs, all he wants from anyone, irrespective of who you are, is loyalty. If you are going to ride or die with Donald Trump, no matter what, Donald Trump will definitely reward you. He has appointed or nominated by a truth or a tweet or X, Matt Gaetz as the next top law enforcer of the United States of America, starting on 20th January when he will be inaugurated. Imagine Matt Gaetz, Attorney General. Imagine that, young Matt Gaetz, the top law enforcer of the United States under President Donald J. Trump, Mr. 47. Wow, this is... I definitely never saw this coming.
January 2017, and alphabetically, we're seated right next to one another in Judiciary Committee. We served there together for 7 years. Some of y'all who cover Judiciary know those are long meetings. So I got to know Matt very well. Look, I'll say this. Everyone who served with him will tell you he's one of the most intelligent.
You know, it's funny sometimes to see this guy, what's his name? Johnson, whatever his name is. The Speaker of the House. It's funny sometimes to see him when he says, I'm a man of faith. And then you hear of somebody, your colleague, the guy who has sat next to you for how many, 7 years? Being alleged to have slept, to have paid a 17-year-old. Not only paying her, but also buying her drugs. And you claim to be, this man, said that God spoke to him directly. He claims to speak with God. So what did God tell him about the allegation against Matt Gaetz? His dear friend. His friend who has sat next to him for 7 years. What did God tell him? Did God tell him that Matt Gaetz did not do what he said, what has been alleged that he did? His friend, his very good friend, is in prison for the same offenses. There are girls who have come forward and said, yes, Matt paid me for sex. So what has God said to him, the Speaker, directly as he claims? What has God said to him about Matt Gaetz and his quote-unquote offenses? Has God said Matt Gaetz is not guilty? Matt Gaetz has been appointed the Attorney General.
Congress. He's an accomplished attorney. He's very concerned about the lawfare that has been occurring in the Department of Justice under the Biden administration, and the fact that the American people have lost their faith in our institutions of justice because of everything that they've seen. He's a reformer in his...
It's kind of comical when these people say that the Biden's administration has weaponized justice against their opponent. It's kind of sad in a way because your average American does not even know what is going on. These are the same people who said the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump. All the courts in that land said it wasn't true. Even justices that were appointed by Donald Trump said no. There was nothing to collaborate. Or is it the word corroborate? There was nothing substantial. There was no evidence. There was no standing. That means they did not even want to waste their time because they saw nothing. Those are the same people who push that false claim. The same people are saying Biden's administration weaponized the Justice Department. When you guys are meant to be the ones passing laws in that land, but you guys were the one lying. Even when the court said that there were no evidence, that all the claims lack standing, you guys who are meant to be the ones passing laws still went ahead. You guys said you did not believe your own court. You did not believe justices appointed by your own guy, Mr. Donald J. Trump. How can you guys then turn around and say the other side is the one making people not to believe in the justice in that country? When you guys spread the false claim that the election was stolen. Look at how Biden and his administration treated Donald Trump as he won this election. How shameful was it that Donald Trump was sat with Biden? When Obama was leaving, he invited Donald Trump. Biden is leaving, he's invited Donald Trump. Those are decent human beings. He's invited Donald Trump. He said, we're going to make sure that there's a smooth and orderly transition. My team is going to help your team. And to be honest, Donald Trump has no shame. Donald Trump has no shame. If Donald Trump, as people claim, he's a man of faith, I don't know where they come about with that. He would have just apologized. I'm sorry. I would have invited you last time when you won. But it's going to be hard because even as Donald Trump has won this election, he's still claiming that the 2020 election was won by him. Does anyone in his right mind expect anything to be different? It's going to be a lot worse. The nominations that are coming in, to work alongside Donald Trump for this his last term of office. These nominations are proof that America is going to be interesting in the next 4 years. Definitely, America is going to be interesting in the next 4 years.
Mind and heart, and I think that he'll bring a lot to the table on that. I think out of deference to us, he issued his resignation letter effective immediately of Congress. That caught us by surprise a little bit, but I asked him what the reasoning was, and he said, well, you can't have too many absences. So under Florida state law, there's about an 8-week period to select and fill a vacant seat. And so by doing so today...
The only part I like with these Republicans is they don't give a shit what they say if you think it's a lie or not. They just say anything that is going to be in line with their narrative. The Republican Party of these days is not the one of 10 years ago. Nowadays, no, 10 years ago, 12, 15 years or 20 years back. Nowadays, there's no integrity. They just feed their base with what they think their base would like to hear. They don't give a shit. Imagine him saying this, that he asked Matt Gaetz why he is resigning. And Matt Gaetz did not tell him that I'm resigning because I've got an appointment coming up. And also, the ethics committee is going to, the ethics commission is going to release their findings about me and my 17-year-old chick on Friday, which is tomorrow. Matt Gaetz decided to skip up because once he's not there, that finding has no validity because he's not there anyway. He's not a member of them anymore, so the finding has nothing to do with him.
That allows me, I've already placed a call to Governor DeSantis in Florida and said, let's start the clock. He's in Italy at the moment, and so we're going to talk first thing in the morning about this. And if we start the clock now, if you do the math, we may be able to fill that seat as early as January 3rd when we take the new oath of office for the new Congress. So Matt would have done us a great service by making that decision as he did. Yes, but we have an embarrassment of riches here. The Republican conference is full of talent.
Already resigned from Congress, which obviously led to a lot of speculation. Was he just that bullish on the prospects of confirmation? Because let's face it, he's not the most popular guy in the Senate.
It's not.
A number of Republican senators expressed, let's say, chilliness to the prospect of him becoming the next attorney general. But then it became clear exactly why he resigned, and it wasn't because he was just that certain that he would get confirmed by the Senate. This was reported by Punchbowl News. Quote, Representative
Matt Gaetz of Florida resignation from Congress came 2 days before the House Ethics Committee was set to vote on releasing a highly damaging report outlining its investigation into the Republican. According to multiple sources familiar with the probe, the committee planned to vote Friday on releasing the report. Ethics loses its jurisdiction over Matt Gaetz when he leaves Congress. The secretive panel has been investigating Gaetz on and off since 2021. President-elect Donald Trump announced that he would nominate Gaetz to be Attorney General Wednesday. Wow. This, guys, America,
report by the House Ethics Committee.
America. The next 4 years, I think I'm just going to stick to doing content on America for the next 4 years, because the next 4 years, there is going to be a lot to say and there's going to be a lot to watch for coming from the United States.
By the way, controlled by Republicans, his own party. And so in order to get out ahead of that, he used the pretense of an AG nomination to resign so that he wouldn't face the humiliation of the ethics report. And what's worse, Trump was in on it, clearly. Let's not pretend that Trump didn't know this. I don't believe for a single second that they didn't have a heads up here, meaning Trump used the Attorney General of the United States of America spot as a vehicle to...
Imagine Trump is a convicted felon. Trump is a president, the only president in the history of the United States of America who is a convicted felon. He was guilty of 34 counts of sexual misconduct. Trump and his organization have been found guilty, liable of submitting fraudulent, let's say fraudulent bookkeeping. Is it bookkeeping? No, fraudulent statements to either pay taxes or to acquire loans. That is the president of the United States. No doubt, he is going to fill his cabinet with criminals. Because as they say, birds of the same feather flock together. If I am not a criminal, if I am not a con man, it's hard for me to make friends with criminals and con men. Because we have nothing in common. How can I be a friend to a thief? How can I be a friend to a con man? How can I be a very good friend to, let's say, a porn star? Somebody who makes his living by doing porn. What are we going to talk about on a daily basis? Because his world is not my world. I know nothing about his world. So there's really going to be there's going to be too much tension and friction and silence when we are together, because I do not partake in his world and I don't want to have anything in common with what he does. So that is why Trump is going to make sure that most of his cabinet picks are going to be people who have committed or who have been alleged to have committed offenses. Don't forget Steve Bannon, Michael Flynn, John Stone, Jeffrey Clark. All those guys, some of them will find themselves in Trump's cabinet.
Matt Gaetz out of legal trouble. Like, I just need to reiterate that for a second. Gaetz is about to be the subject of a damning expose that was regarding his illegal behavior. And in order to distract from that and give him an out, Trump offered him the role of the top law enforcement official.
Imagine somebody is under investigation by the ethics committee of whom he belongs to have slept with a 17-year-old girl, to have not only slept with the girl, paid her. That is sex trafficking. And it's also been alleged that he also trafficked the girl out of her hometown for sex purposes. And that person, instead of waiting for the committee to release the findings before making that nomination or appointment, you appoint him. So what if the report comes out and it's true that Gaetz did pay that 17-year-old girl for sex, which is a crime because she is a minor? What happens then? Do you then rescind the appointment? Because you cannot have the top law enforcement officer of the United States of America as somebody who has sex with a minor. How is that going to work? But you should not forget, I should not forget, that Trump also has been found guilty of similar offenses. His wasn't with a minor, and he has even said it with his own mouth. He has said it with his own mouth. And 20 other women came forward to say he did the same thing to me. His late wife, even though she later on, after money was passed, that's what people say, I have no evidence to prove that, she said Donald Trump also forced me and raped me. No, raped me. She also said that, but later on, she withdrew that statement. Once you make a statement like that and withdrew the statement, it's either you withdrew the statement and say I lied, or you're withdrawing the statement. No, if you withdraw the statement, if you say I lied, then you can be charged for lying. That's defamation. But if you withdrew the statement without saying that you lie, you just withdraw the statement. Just say I withdrew the statement without saying why you did that. Then there's something fishy. America, we are in for a ride for the next 4 years.
What in the actual fuck?
What in the actual fuck?
For a second? Even
Seriously.
Republicans out there have to recognize that maybe putting someone who is currently contending with allegations of sex trafficking and other crimes for which there was apparently enough evidence.
You know what? Sometimes, just think of it. Sometimes when you go through all the things that Donald Trump has allegedly said to have done, and then you just shake your head and realize that he's going to be the number 47 president of the United States. The number 47 president of the United States. There is no difference between the United States now and those banana republics. They used to say Biden is making America to look like a banana republic. No, this is now a banana republic. because the guy who is running the country, the guy who is going to be running the country, was found guilty of 34 counts of sexual assault by a jury of his peers. The guy, his organization, was found liable for fraud, falsifying bank statements to get loans, lying about every and anything concerning money and wealth. And the guy still has other cases pending, which, as president, he might just find a way to. Matt Gaetz is going to dismiss all those cases anyway. That is why. That is why he picked Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is going to dismiss all those cases. Even the Eugene Caro case, Matt Gaetz is going to find a way. Either Matt Gaetz is going to impeach any and everybody who is currently behind Donald Trump for any offenses. And also, I don't know if it's possible also for Matt Gaetz to try, because now they control the whole three system of justice in America. They control the House, the Senate, they have the White House, and also Donald Trump owns the Supreme Court. So they might try to find a way to expunge, is that the word? The two impeachment of President Donald J. Trump, or president to be, or former president. They might try to clean everything, make everything clean. But it's just going to be clean on paper. Because in the minds of people, we all know what Donald Trump has done. So his choice of picking Matt Gaetz as AG is perfect for him.
Evidence that even a Republican-led committee felt the need to continue investigating in charge of the Justice Department may not be a great idea. Perhaps there's the law critical. In the interviews, which have previously not been reported, some witnesses have shown Venmo payments they allegedly received from Gaetz.
See, in the interviews which have previously not been reported, some witnesses have been shown Venmo payments they allege received from Gaetz and asked if those payments were for sexual activities, sources said. Some of the witnesses have been subpoenaed by the committee, while others have agreed to cooperate, according to sources.
And asked if those payments were for sexual activities, sources said. The House Ethics Committee had...
So this is what Gaetz had to say. I think this was just before he was appointed by Donald Trump. The House Ethics Committee has disclosed 4 props into me, which emerged from lies intended solely to smear me, instead of working with me to ban congressional stock trading. The Ethics Committee is now opening new frivolous investigations. They are doing this to avoid the obvious fact that every investigation into me ends the same way, my exoneration. This is Soviet. Kevin McCarthy, yes, he initially asked Kevin to put a stop to those investigations, and Kevin said no. And that is why he spearheaded Kevin's short term as Speaker of the House. So Kevin McCarthy showed them the man, and they are now trying to find the crime. I work for Northwest Floridians who wouldn't be swayed by this nonsense, and McCarthy and his goons know it. That is a big jab at McCarthy, big one. And McCarthy, sorry, Matt Gaetz is going to be the next Attorney General who is live now. So former Speaker McCarthy on supporting Representative Gaetz challenger when he was trying for Gaetz to be kicked off from his seat in Florida. So what did he say?
Conservative. I mean, and if you think about it, if there's anybody who should go to trial, I mean, Gaetz is one who should be convicted in a trial.
Why? Why do you say that?
Well, we all know the challenge here. You can't sleep with underage women and think you can get away with it. I mean,
He denies.
You see, he is not even saying that he has been alleged to sleep with underage girls. He is saying you can't sleep with underage girls. and go away with it. That is what he's saying. So from what McCarthy said years ago, it's like he knew that Matt Gaetz was guilty.
Well, the women don't, and so there's people in
Well, the women don't.
jail because of it, and I think that's a place that people should have a court. I just don't think that as an individual should be represented in Congress.
You made a lot of concessions in the negotiations.
Again, this is another video of Kevin McCarthy still saying the same thing, that Matt Gaetz did commit those offenses.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Okay, is that
Let's
the
get to the bottom of that.
Right?
That is such a misnomer in life. Let me give you the truth about that now. And I'll give you the truth why I'm not speaker. It's because one person, a member of Congress, wanted me to stop an ethics complaint because he slept with a 17-year-old. An ethics complaint that started before I ever became speaker, and that's illegal, and I'm not going to get in the middle. Did he do it or not? I don't know. But ethics is looking at it. There's other people in jail because of it. And he wanted me to influence it.
In fact,
Imagine, even a Republican is saying that Matt Gaetz did do what he's been alleged to have done. And can you imagine this person will be the top law enforcement officer of the United States of America? He's going to be the one protecting people. He's going to be the one trying to protect people, not to do what he did. So he's going to be the one stopping pedophiles and people trafficking in sex of minors. He's going to be the one enforcing that. But he did that to a 17-year-old girl. Can you imagine how crazy this 4 years is going to be? Can you just imagine, just close your eyes and think that a guy in the White House was found guilty of 34 counts of sexually assaulting a woman. And the guy who is going to be enforcing the law of the land also paid a 17-year-old girl, bought drugs for her so they could do all sorts of crazy sex stuff. And she was only 17, a minor. Can you imagine how crazy the United States is?
here's another Republican calling out Gaetz publicly.
The House is a rough and rowdy place, but Mike Johnson is going to be just fine. I served 20 years in the military. It's my absolute honor to be in Congress, but I served with some real scumbags. Look, Matt Gaetz, he paid minors to have sex with him at drug parties.
Imagine if fellow Republicans are saying straightforward, with a straight face, that Matt Gaetz paid a 17-year-old for sex. And he's going to be the Attorney General of the United States. This is this is crazy.
Bob Good endorsed my opponent, a known neo-Nazi. These people used to walk around with white hoods at night. Now they're walking around with white hoods in the daytime.
And look, I will note for posterity that the Justice Department opted not to charge Matt Gaetz, which I suppose shouldn't come as much of a surprise at the hands of Merrick Garland's DOJ, whose MO is never offering even the optics of any politicization. But the fact that a Republican-led House committee pursued this topic anyway is perhaps a testament.
No, that one is very. That's it. I think Merrick Garland, he should get a pass from that because he opted not to follow that case. But a Republican House is following up with investigation. That is to prove how serious the offenses are. Because remember, Republicans will always stick to each other. But if they kept on with that investigation, then that means there's something important about the investigation. But guess what? When you're loyal to Donald Trump will pay back the favor. And he's just done. But will Matt Gaetz actually become the Attorney General of the United States? Donald Trump won the election, which many of us did not see coming. So anything is possible these days in America. America has just become one of the richest African countries.
How damning it is. And yet, maybe that's why Matt Gaetz not only wants to be Attorney General now, but has been clamoring for it publicly for over a year. Here he is in August 2023 threatening the prospect of becoming Attorney General then.
You never know.
So in August 2023, Matt Gaetz was already, you know what? I'll give it to him. He was already saying he's going to be the AG in 2023, and now we are in 2024, looking forward to 2025. He was already thinking. He already probably had a chat with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump was like, stick with me, and I will reward you.
David, it may be an Attorney General Matt Gaetz down the road, or someone of my liking, who will be there to actually enforce the law and provide the accountability, not just the vision, but the actual accountability. The people that are sending you those messages deserve that in a free and just and constitutional republic.
Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. And I like that. I like that. Attorney General Matt Gaetz. Are you kidding me? Man.
The world is not ready, probably. Certainly Senate confirmation wouldn't be.
Of course, the world is never going to be ready. How can the world be ready for somebody who paid a 17-year-old for sex to be the Attorney General of the United States? The world, nobody can ever even spend 2 seconds to think of that. No, nobody, but anything is possible with President to be Donald J. Trump.
You know,
well, we're getting
a
there.
boy can dream.
Not unlike Trump, Gaetz probably recognizes that the easiest way to avoid being held accountable by the government is to run it. And it's not far-fetched to imagine why a president who is using his office right now to avoid prosecution would then nominate someone whose promotion to the head of the DOJ would also help him avoid accountability. Birds of a feather. So at this point, we now wait to see what happens with regard to the House ethics vote on releasing the Gaetz report.
Birds of the same feather flock together. If you are loyal to Donald Trump will pay you he'll pay you handsomely. Just stick to Donald Trump, fight for Donald Trump. Do whatever makes Donald Trump not only happy, but makes Donald Trump stay out of jail and makes Donald Trump achieve what he wants, and he will pay you handsomely. And Matt Gaetz is about to be paid handsomely, even more than his dad.
As Punchbowl mentioned, this basically becomes moot now that Gaetz is no longer a member of Congress, but perhaps this Republican-led committee still votes to release the findings anyway. We also wait to see what happens with regard to the Senate vote to confirm Matt Gaetz as Attorney General, especially in light of this news. Hopefully, in both of these scenarios, sanity will prevail, but we don't have much.
Sanity will prevail in America. Are you joking me? Are you kidding me? How can you put sanity and America in one sentence? Sanity and America can never, going forward, it will only be put in one statement. Sanity and America when Donald Trump is no longer in power. When the party, I don't know when the party is ever going to go back to a party that respects the rule of law. When that is going to take place, when that is going to happen, then we will start to put sanity and America in one sentence. But for now, they don't. It's insanity. Insanity has to be in the same statement with America. America is an insane country. The insanity is palpable. People are insane. Politicians are insane. Their president is insane. There is no more sanity in America. Even those Democrats who did not vote for their candidate are also insane. How could you go to the booth and look at Donald Trump's name and close your eyes and think of all the things that he's done, all the things that he said, all the things that he wants to do to Americans? How can you take his name? The only way you can take his name is your head is not right. But as a good lad said, never judge people, for you are not going to be judged. So let's see how the next 4 years under President Donald J. Trump and Attorney Matt Gaetz is going to be. Maybe God will appear to them in the middle of the night and tell them to change their ways. Because if that doesn't happen, we are in for a ride. Let me know what you think, guys. As you know, you have to support my channel. You have to subscribe. You have to like my videos. Because for the next 4 years, I am going to be living in your head. I'm going to be in America. I'm going to study what every politics, everything, every law that is going to be passed in that country, every cabinet, every nomination that is going to be made for Donald Trump. I am going to be on it. I am going to research. I'm going to find out what they did, what they said about Donald Trump before he became president the first time, and what they are saying today. Because with Donald Trump, it is not what you do for the country, it's what you do for him. If you do everything good for him, if you stand by him, fight for him, that is what he requires of anybody who wants to be on his team, on his cabinet, on his good side, on his Christmas shopping list. He wants loyalty and nothing else. Anyway, see you guys on the next one. Stay safe, be good. I'm out.